Hello, this is Jayden Cho. So we're going to talk about disease that spread in 17th and 18th century. This is contents. First, I'm going to talk about main diseases that affected Europe during the 17th and 18th century, and background of diseases, where and when it happened, and the symptoms and how it spread it, also the treatments to that, public reaction to the diseases, and how did it affect people's life. The main three diseases that I'm going to talk about is Black Death, smallpox, and typhus. Now let's talk about Black Death. Black Death is caused by the bacterium Yersinia pestis. It's first swept through Europe in the 14th century, but also happened in the 7th century. It's causing immense devastation. How it spread it was it primarily spread through fleas and infested rats. The flea bites humans. That's how it worked. The symptoms had several forms. The most common symptoms included fever, chills, weakness, and swollen. Had painful lymph nodes. Those are on like a neck and armpits. There are also septicemic and pneumonic forms with different symptoms. The treatment during the 17th, 18th century wasn't effective. They included bloodletting, herbal remedies, and sometimes lancing and draining the buboes. None of these treatments had a significant impact, though. They also put herbs in the black mask, like it shows in the right side of the picture. Yeah. So where did it come from? So the Black Death is thought to have originated in Central Asia, like China, and spread it to Europe through the trade routes. It happened in 14th century, which is like literally disaster in the graph, as you can see. And however, it was like sporadic outbreaks continued in 17th to 18th century. It also killed a lot of people during that. The Black Death caused like widespread fear and panic to people. People also believe it was like punishment from God, so many people started engaging in religious fervor and self-flagellation as a response. So impaction, the Black Death had a devastating impact on Europe during 14th century, like decimating populations, just killed like 40% of Europe population. It also happens also in 17th, 18th century, recurring outbreaks continued to disrupt societies, leading to fear and social instability. Second, now let's talk about smallpox. Smallpox is caused by variola virus. It was a highly contagious and deadly disease that plagued Europe for centuries. It was high contagious and primarily spread through respiratory droplets or direct contact with infected individuals. The symptoms included fever, rash, and pustules filled with fluid. The disease had a high mortality rate and often left survivors with disfiguring scars. The treatments are also ineffective. The treatment for smallpox was variolation, a primitive form of vaccination, was practiced in some regions where individuals were deliberately infected with a milder form of the virus to induce immunity. Later of 18th century, scientists called Edward Jenner successfully made a vaccine. So from where? The smallpox originated likely emerged in Africa, like West Indies, to Europe by like trade and exploration. When same as Black Death, there's two main times. The first of the graph you can see really affected greatly in 1775. And second part was started in 1867. So public reaction, uh, in these centuries, smallpox remained a major threat to Europe populations. People feared diseases hardly and even showed desperation. The impact smallpox had a like profound impact on societies. It caused significant mortality and morbidity, leaving survivors scared and communities in fear. People had to try their best to control its spread by quarantine or violation. Lastly, let's talk about typhus. Typhus is caused by Rickettsia bacteria and is like transmitted by lice and fleas. It often thrives in overcrowded and unsanitary conditions, making it a common problem in Europe during the period. How is spread it? Typhoid is transmitted through body, lice, and fleas. It spread easily in overcrowded and unsanitary environments. Typhus symptoms included high fever, headache, rash, delirium, and weakness. It often resulted in high mortality rates. The treatment during this period was limited and mainly focused on managing symptoms. It included Huygen and isolation were sometimes used to prevent the spread of disease, also control of lice and fleas. From where? So origin of typhus is like moved from America when Spanish soldiers were coming back to Europe. It spread gradually in crowds and sanitary conditions such as war camps and cities. When? So this disease was widespread in the crowded of military camps during 30 Years' War. So the 30 Years' War was happening and it spread it. And also there's various other conflicts in 17th, 18th centuries. Public reaction. So the same as smallpox, it outbreaks like often met with fear and attempts to quarantine affected individuals. You can see the like tents in the picture right side. That's where quarantine. People stay there for long. Impact of Europe. So typhoid kills a lot of soldiers and people because since it's like struck in times of war and famine, causing many suffering and deaths. Also, since it was in 30 Years War. So this disease had like significant public health impacts. They caused mostly fears and panics, disrupted societies, and led to high mortality rates. Limited understanding of disease transmission treatments contributed to the challenges in dealing with these outbreaks, which had a profound impact on the quality of life for affected population. That's it. Thank you for listening to my presentation.